Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are. Obviously, as you could tell by my setup, still in isolation. So we with the isolation series part four. All right. Uh, Last time I talked to y'all, we talked about the new changes in the policy for retention happening in the next couple of days, starting on the 1st of October. And we got a lot of changes. So let's just recap what happened last time we talked. Obviously, I'm still here. Haven't been cleared from isolation yet. I do get another COVID test tomorrow morning. Hopefully, I get cleared from that. But we got a lot of questions and comments about the policy changes. So I'm gonna elaborate on. It's a lot easier for me to talk about it than to type it out. I got Boston Public School education, so typing and writing not the best, but speaking I'm a little bit better at that. Right. So let's start with what we talked about last time. So we had the reenlistment opportunity window was going to change from 15 months down to 12 months. That's going to start October 1st. All right. So from 15 months to 12 months, not that big of a deal. All right. It's going to take you a little bit closer. Just act faster. That's it. That's all it really is. It's just act a little bit faster. All right. We also talked about the reenlistment opportunity window extension. That right there was just commonly referred to as a whiskey extension. A whiskey extension for career counselors, and they tell you that is when you come in to see them. That extension is going to be from going from a minimum of 12 months to now a minimum of 18 months. All right, so it's probably in your best interest to do a 2-year reenlistment than to just do an 18-month extension. It's been in your best interest to just do a 2-year and get something out of it, get maybe some stabilization if you do get current station stabilization, or give yourself a little bit more time to work on something. So that was another change that we had, right? Then we also had the biggest issue that we had a lot of comments about was the changing of the NCO career status program. A lot of people call it the in-depth program, right? Reenlisting in-depth. It's going to change from 12 years to 10 years. All right. So if you are a staff sergeant or above and you have 10 years on the date of reenlistment, 10 or more, you are going to reenlist for an indefinite period of time. Now, a couple of things that we had a lot of questions about. Just because you reenlist for the NCO career status program does not mean that you can't get out of the Army before your retirement date. You can actually get out the Army at any time when you are in there. It's actually a lot easier because you have that. You have at that point it's a 4187. You'll do a 4187 for a voluntary separation, and that's actually I've seen that's a lot faster than people trying to separate through other means. So that's something that you might want to look into if you are. So don't be scared. Don't be scared. Right? Never be scared. Shoot. And we got to make sure that we get it right. So 10 years, hey, I look at it like this. If you reenlist NCO CSP at 10 years, you're going to be guaranteed to go to 20 or beyond, right? If you've already gone to that 10-year point, you already halfway to the finish line. So, I mean, you're almost there. So you might as well finish to tough it out. You almost there. That's how I look at it, right? That first reenlistment, a lot of us look at it like this. For example, me, I told myself I wasn't going to stay in the Army past my first enlistment, 4 years, right? Then life happens. Then I was going to stay past my second reenlistment. Then life happens. And then I'm not going to stay in the Army. I'm not going to make it a career. And now look at me. 18 years in, a master sergeant. And then everybody keeps telling me stay in longer. But 20 is it. For me, I'm done. 20 and done. That's all I'm doing. They ain't going to get no more out of me than that. But that's it. But if you go in depth, it's not the end of the world. You actually have so much flexibility. Your career is in your hands at that point, right? If you want to keep it going, you can. If you don't want to, then you can also do that 4187 for that involuntary separation. All right. So a couple of things that we need to talk about. A lot of questions that we have. Tori, before I get to the next thing I was going to talk to, Tori asked, do you think they will bring back early retirement? I don't know. Early retirement, and I think what I'm thinking you're talking about the QSP program, right? Where that was the 15 years, and it was only if you got identified for it, you were able to qualify under the QSP program for 15-year early retirement. I don't know if they're going to bring it back or not. That's a tool that the Army uses when they are downsizing. Now, we don't know if we're going to downsize or we're going to keep the same strength that we have right now. I don't know, right? So I can't give you an honest answer on that. All right. So we talked about the 5 reenlistment options. Yes, the 15 years. Yeah. So I don't know if they're going to bring it back or not. I don't have that kind of insight. That's way above my pay grade. But we might have somebody coming on soon that might be able to help out with that, right? That might have a better answer at that. But we did talk about the 5 reenlistment options a couple of days ago, right? So what I really want to talk about is in and out calls, right? A lot of times you come see a career counselor like, I hate my job. I used to be at 88 Hotel. Love being at 88 Hotel, right? But it wasn't for me. It's a great job. Great job on the civilian side, but it just wasn't the job for me, right? So that job, I needed to find my calling. My calling was to becoming the 79 Sierra career counselor, but I didn't know what to do. So I didn't even know what to do. So I just thought I just reenlisted to stay at 88 Hotel my whole time. I didn't know. Talked to a career counselor. Career counselor said, hey, what do you want to do? I said, I don't know. I just want to stay in the Army. They say, okay. Do you want to change the job? I said, I can. I didn't know. Then I looked at in and out calls, and it's just this big list of MOSs, right? You looked at it before, and you have no idea what it looks like. And I'm just looking at it, and you're just looking at it, and it's like your MOS, and it's like you see N's and Y, Yankees and Novembers, and you're like, what the heck? And it's like, I don't know what it is. But then I figured out how to read it, right? So before I keep going on and on by myself, because I've been by myself for a while now, so I've been talking to y'all by myself, and sometimes I think I'm just talking to myself. So I asked somebody to if they wanted to come on, just so I didn't sound crazy no more. And she kind of missed being on the screen a lot. She missed talking to y'all. So I'm inviting somebody on to be with us right now. So before I keep talking about in and out calls, I'm gonna bring in Shantae. Hey, Shantae.
Hey.
Yeah. So Shantae, I'm good. I'm on isolation still. Still, yeah. Good. Beer growing in good though.
Man. It's red.
It's red. It's not red. It's strawberry blonde.
Gotcha.
It's more strawberry blonde. You know what I'm saying? But I was talking about in and out calls, right? Okay. So in and out calls, that's the easiest way to tell the strength of an MOS, right?
Right. Yeah.
So if I'm in an MOS and it's overstrength, what does that mean?
I mean, kind of common sense. It means that there's probably too many people in your MOS, and the promotion potential is probably not there. So if you're trying to stay in the Army in an overstrength MOS, it would definitely, as people used to say back in the day, behoove you to look at your other options out there for something that's balanced or definitely under strength.
Yeah, so that's usually when you have balanced or under strength. Those are the ones that we talk about bonuses and stuff, right? And potential promotion potential as well, right?
Yep.
All right. So before you were a career counselor, what was your MOS?
Ooh, I had 2. So when I first joined the Army back when, I was in the National Guard as a 92 Whiskey, a watchdog. Didn't do nothing with that one. And then I joined the active Army, and I became a 13 Tango. So that was another MOS that I didn't really do much with, but I'm here.
Nah, I got you. So you figured out that, hey, you found something that you wanted to do. Mm-hmm. You looked at it and you was like, all right, I think I might want to become a career counselor.
Right.
And in and out calls helped you out with that. Mm-hmm. But we got some questions. Hold on. We got some. Joshua wants to know, just out of curiosity, when you enter the NCO CSP, why would there not be a conditional retention bonus specifically geared to those for the 20 years? I only ask because every window I've personally for my MOS had not had a bonus during my roles. Also, thank you for clarifying the NCOCSP. No problem about the NCOCSP. But as far as why we don't gear a bonus towards somebody going to the NCOCSP, the simple answer is this: if you get to go to 20, that's your bonus. If you get to retirement, that's way more money than you would ever get on a bonus. The money that you'll make on that back end is way more money, Josh. So that's what that is. And it's just all about the strength of your MOS. That's why you wouldn't get a bonus in the rows. That's probably why that's going to be so much like that. Did I miss anything, Shantae?
Nope, that was perfect. Hit it right on the head.
Shantae, this one, Nico got a question for you. What are the options for reclassification for the staff sergeant?
So I'm going to be honest. The pickings are a little bit slimmer. once you are a staff sergeant, but there are exceptions out there. For example, 79 Sarah career counselors up to a certain point as being a staff sergeant will still take you. There's other MOSs out there. It just depends on what you personally qualify for as a staff sergeant, but that's something that you definitely want to sit down with your unit career counselor and just go over to see what's out there for you.
Yeah, so and it depends, right? Depends on like if your career is, depending on where you are in your career too. And then there's also application MOSs out there, right? So yeah, that's Nico. So like if you like right now, if you want to become a career counselor, depending on how much time and grade you as a staff sergeant, as of right now, you would have to get an exception to a policy, right? But going forward, I think in the next FY, it doesn't matter how much time and grade you have as a staff sergeant, you can become a career counselor. So that's a good thing. All right. So go talk to your career counselor. If you want to know what options you get for reclassification as a staff sergeant, go see your career counselor. That's the best answer we can give you.
Nico looks fit. I mean, those 18 series got some huge bonuses and they take staff sergeants. So
yeah, they'll take them all day, every day. Craig Tidwell asks, is there a place like a DA PAM or AR that a soldier can find all the enlisted MOSs? Yeah, Army Reenlistment just actually answered that for you, Craig. DA PAN 611-21. That's where it's at. That's what I would tell you. Go get on there, and that DA PAM tells you everything. We call it a smart book, the MOS smart book, and that's what we could do. All right, so that's what I would tell you. Kabiza Hugh, yes, this is probably one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life. SRBs are tied to MOSs. That's the only way they can be paid out by law. That's absolutely correct. That's why you get specifically for your MOS. That's not what to answer back on Josh's question. That's why it's not tied to NCO CSP. That's why it's tied to MOSs. So Shantae, what are you looking forward to with these new policy messages? Which one is intriguing you the most?
I think the 12-month window is probably one that I think will affect my formation a little bit more. It sounds probably a little bit more painful than people think. A lot of soldiers hold out till that 12-month window anyways, especially when there's a bonus related, just so that they can get a little bit more money on the back end for owing less time to the Army. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how career counselors and soldiers handle that 12-month window now. So I'm looking forward to that.
I agree. It's the 12-month is going to be a little bit trickier because the back end, right? You're taking those 3 extra months away, and without that 90-day window, and a lot of soldiers don't get this, right? A lot of soldiers the biggest problem that a lot of soldiers have is they wait till the last minute. Yep. And when you wait till the last minute, you can mess around and not get paid, right? So you could re-enlist all the way up until the day before you ETS. But you're not going to get paid for that next paycheck, maybe the next 2 paychecks, because DFAS is going to drop you from roles. So you got to make sure that you're taking care of that. That's going to be different. And speaking of NCO CSP, did you re-enlist yet?
Really, Tim?
I was just asking. I haven't talked to you in a while. I've been on isolation.
It's coming. I'm waiting on the new FY. I was waiting on a couple things to line up for me prior, but I'm a career counselor. So what I look like getting out. So it's coming. When I do, you guys are all invited. Maybe I'll go live or something. We'll see.
Y'all heard it here first. We're going to do her reenlistment on live stream. We're going to do it on a live stream. We'll do it on armyreenlistment.com. We'll do it on Facebook and YouTube.
Maybe
y'all heard it here.
I'm probably going to take your admin privileges by then, but
no, it doesn't matter. We'll make it happen. All right, so yeah, you heard it here first. She's gonna and will you be going into the NCO CSP program?
Sure will. Yep.
Oh, because would you be going into it either way or because of the changes?
I would have been going into it either way. I just hit a little over 12 years. So
have you been hearing like soldiers complain about the change?
Yes, and it's kind of disheartening because I've been seeing a lot of people saying, "Oh, now I'm going to get out," or things like that, just because they changed it from the 12 to 10. I think that right now there's a lot of uneducated opinions out there about it, and that's why I'm really looking forward to sneak preview tomorrow. So hopefully we can put some of those stressors to bed, because the NCO CSP is definitely a great program. You're set. Like, you don't have to worry about re-enlisting no more. You can get out. So it's great. It's great.
What's crazy is, like, when I first became a career counselor, I used to have E5s running on me like all the time. Like I'm over 10, sorry, I'm ready to go in depth, right? Like E5s, like, hey, you can't go in depth. You're not a staff. It's staff sergeant's little above, because they knew like I could get to 20. Now it's like, I don't know, I don't want to go in, but like we changed the name from in depth to NCO CSP, and now it's like, no, I don't want to do it anymore. But it's like, hey, it's still the same. You're still doing the same. I don't know the difference. If I re-enlist at 11 years for 6 years, I don't know what the difference. They take me out to 17. I don't know what the difference is of re-enlisting at 11 years and taking me out to 20, which was an extra 2 years. All y'all really need to do is get to 18. That's the biggest thing, anyways. Once you get to 18, unless you rape, murder, maim, or do something egregious, you're gonna be able to retire. Right. Like they have to bury you under the jail. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, they say at that 10 to 12 year mark, anyways, you're over the hill. So at this point,
yeah,
I think that a lot of people are, big talkers. So when I was in a battalion, it was those same big talkers that I used to love writing contracts for at the end of the day. So
I agree. We got a couple of comments here. Dexter Mitchell, shout out to my guy Dex. My career counselor told me there are waivers I could put in for some qualifications I don't meet for reclassification. That's going to take proponent waivers, right? So sometimes when there's like for example, when I was the proponent for 79 Sierra, if we got a soldier that didn't have the qualifications for the GT or the tech score, they could put it in a proponent waiver, and I would have to get it signed by our proponent. I wasn't the actual proponent. The actual proponent is the SAC, the Senior Army Career Counselor. He is the actual proponent. I was the Senior Career Management NCO. But they could do that. So same thing with any other MOS, Dexter. So if somebody in the medical field needs a point or two waiver, the medical proponent will be able to do so. And and we had the 68 whiskey proponent on before, right, Shantae?
Yeah, we did. And he made it sound like it really wasn't that hard, but it's just something that the career counselor, the soldier, and the proponent will work together. So it's out there.
Andrew Sadler, shout out to AJ. He's really excited for your live re-enlistment. I'm very excited for that too. I'm really excited for that. Jason Gutierrez, I don't know why anybody would want to go to DART virtually. You don't want that. That's the most fun class in the entire Army, Jason. Like I will tell you, that is the best 1 week class that you will ever get. But like Army re-enlistment, the admin said, which I'm pretty sure that is the actual person, not at this time. We don't want that class to go virtual. You want that class to be taught in person.
Mm-hmm.
You want that class.
This was actually the one thing that really made me want to be a career counselor. I had Sergeant Major Washington there, and she just hyped up our class that entire week. And I was like, I need to do this job full time. So you do not want to do DART virtual if you can help it.
No, you don't. Definitely do not. You do not. We got another comment here. NCO CSP gives you the most power in your Army career. It allows you the ability to tell the Army when you're done. ETS, retire, separate, other reasons. You don't have to keep asking. That's absolutely correct. Sean Burke, can you speak on the 4187 package for a service member who are in depth? The process to request release. It's a 4187 for voluntary voluntary separation. You just do it through your S1. And your S1 has that right down there, and everything is right there. AJ said something. No, we don't. I'm guessing that's about the DART. I'm pretty sure that's about the DART. Tolo, what's the difference between a proponent and the talent assignment managers? Proponent is going to be dealing with the actual MOS, the structure of the MOS, with the designations of what the mile markers that need to be hit. Whereas the talent assignment managers, that's the branch manager, right? So you have those two work hand in hand. Good question. And I have a feeling that Tolo is going to be making an appearance sometime soon. He's made an appearance before.
Maybe,
right? Got Dexter right here. My career counselor has said something about the in-depth program. Used to be 10 years, but got moved due to something about the BRS. All right, so they changed it. There was multiple reasons why the in-depth program changed to the career status program. There was multiple reasons why. The leadership, Army leadership, had multiple reasons of why they want to do it. Because a lot of times when somebody was in depth, when they became in depth, they were pretty much untouchable, right? Because you couldn't bar them. Once they were in depth, they were a staff sergeant. You couldn't bar them, you really couldn't do anything to them if they were within the regulation. So they had all these things. So they changed it to the NCO Career Status Program, and they changed from a bar to reenlistment to a bar to continue service, so that they could capture people. Because when you had those two programs, a staff sergeant could just slide through. A staff sergeant that got to like 13 and just decided that he wanted to check out, they could check out. Whereas now with the bar to continue service program, they kind of go all in. All right, so there's multiple reasons. The BRS is got a little bit to do with it, but there is one. AJ says, talk about the proponent and the talent assignment manager. One says where, the other one where you go. The other one says where you need to be. Vincent, if a service member is approaching their 10th year and are up for re-enlistment,
are they eligible reclass?
Yeah, my fault. Go ahead, Shantae.
All right, so Vincent, another big change that came out this year for the 1 October is this FY, our careers will not be getting those mid-career options. So whereas last time we were able to do those reclasses like that, we won't be able to do that if they're not otherwise qualified. But again, you can be at your 10-year mark, and there's always those application MOSs and things like that. But tomorrow will be a great time for you to really ask this question, if you get what I'm saying.
You keep talking about tomorrow, Shantae, so you might as well just tell them about tomorrow. So what's going to happen tomorrow?
All right, so if you guys are following us, you will see that right before we went live on this show, we posted a new slip for tomorrow. So we know that you guys are getting upset and frustrated and, just confused on all these changes, because they're huge changes and they're happening so fast. So we did the best thing that we knew, and we got our subject matter expert, our senior Army career counselor, the one that works up at the Pentagon, and he's going to be on here live tomorrow answering individual questions that you guys may have. And another really cool thing is we're going to try something different, and we're going to have people come on live and ask these questions if they'd like to. Otherwise, ask them in the comments or send them to us and we will get them to him. But we're going to have the SAC on tomorrow. So we're going to get all these questions answered, and we're going to go into this new year ready to re-enlist and rock this mission.
That's good. No more me by myself talking to myself. That's good stuff.
But you're so good at this.
Nah, people are getting tired of that. I think I just get really weird talking to myself. Like I'm looking at myself and just get weird. But I'm out here to put information out to people. Mm-hmm. But that's going to be good. Tomorrow's going to be a real good time. Got the 16th SAC coming on. That's the senior Army career counselor, Sergeant Major Toby Whitney. So that's gonna be really good. And then we got another comment. Dexter's on it tonight. My career counselor said the 1-year extension won't be a thing anymore starting on the 1st. If you covered this already, my bad. But why is that? Now when it comes to the reenlistment opportunity window extension, the whiskey code extension, that's not going to be a 1-year extension anymore. That's going to be an 18-month extension come the 1st of October. That's true. But there still are other extensions out there that can be 1-year extensions. So the 1-year extensions can still happen, but that specific type of extension is still going to go like that. That's what's up. My throat's hurting, so maybe I do got COVID. I don't know. I don't know. So maybe we might have to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I know, Dexter, but don't be hurt about that whiskey extension changing from 12 to 18 months because, as Tim said earlier, some soldiers don't realize that doing that extension, with an extension, you're adding that time on to your ETS. Whereas if you just turn around and do a 2-year reenlistment, it starts from that day. So if you guys are watching and you're trying to figure out which one, weigh your options, because that reenlistment is probably going to be better for you anyways at this point.
Here we go. Kevin Robinson, why do you always, Panda, stop bringing up Cam. Stop bringing up Cam. Nobody cares about Cam. It's all about Mac. It's all about Mac, man. Gosh, that's why Cam's not in the league, because he didn't get tested. Gosh. Chris Nerd said that's what you get for coming to Kentucky. You got that variant. Yeah, I saw. Kentucky's like one of the most unvaccinated places in the country. And I was there. Last place I was TDY was there. Saw Norwood, saw First Class Donahue at Dart and Kuwait was part of the reason I became a career counselor. We'd like to hear you talk. Thanks. I appreciate that.
He just tried not to get fired.
That's all I try. That's all I try, not to get fired. Dex, the honest broker. Hey, thank y'all. I'm gonna cut it short because I'm gonna eat some dinner. I'm gonna try to get some good sleep, study for this COVID test in the morning. Hopefully I get released for this live tomorrow night. Hold on, we got a real question. So hold on. Steven asked, I'm gonna answer this before we bounce. Outside of your reenlistment window and need to meet the SRR for promotion to Sergeant First Class, what does that look like? It looks like a regular Army reenlistment, Steve. You get the reenlist. Now, how much time do you have? Depends. Like if you're gonna reenlist for the minimum time for that, you're gonna reenlist for the minimum amount of time that you need to do, unless you're already over 12. If you're over 12, then you're gonna reenlist to go into the NCO CSP. I hope that answers your question. Today. If you wait until the 1st, then you're gonna be going NCO CSP if you got less than 12 and over 10. Sounds good. Hold on, Dex. You asked real questions. I was answering the COVID questions and the Cam got tested questions. I was answering those. I'll answer one more. Hold on. Another question, real like yours, Dex. All right. This is from Jason. When you transfer your post 9/11 benefits to your dependent, it triggers a 4-year commitment. Can you reenlist and take advantage of a bonus and still meet the 4-year requirement if you're in your reenlistment opportunity window? Right? There's specific rules for that. It's called TEB, the transfer of entitlement benefits, and you have to be in your reenlistment opportunity window. Okay, if to reenlist for that. If not, then you'll do an extension. We used to be able to reenlist you outside the reenlistment opportunity window because it is an SR, but not anymore. All right. Hope that answers your questions. All right. So Shantae, I'm out for real this time. Thank y'all, everybody. Appreciate y'all. Hopefully this
tomorrow.
And tomorrow night. And tomorrow night, we will be having on the 16th SAC, and he will be talking about the policy changes going into the next FY. All right. And hopefully this is the last edition of the isolation series. Y'all have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.